with them, with y'all being together now, what has been, and you all, and being around y'all a couple of times that I haven't met y'all, you're a wonderful, loving couple, but what is the relationship with him and y'all together, and then also with your family now?
Well, my kids think of him as a kind of a second dad.
That's wonderful.
They call him David. They don't call him Dad. But he played a very important role in their lives. And it was we kind of decided together that they didn't need a second dad. And so he would just be there as a support. And
How did you merge that?
Well, we didn't immediately. So we didn't move in together because he owned a house in South Bend. I had an apartment in Elkhart, and my kids were in school there, and I didn't want to move my kids' school districts. So, and he couldn't sell his house. Like, it was kind of like, we do not have the option of living together. So the first 5 years of our relationship, we just spent as much time together at each other's homes as possible. But he would come and go to the kids' games with me, and very conservative public school system there that we were. I have a funny story about one day at a track meet for my son at the time. My son's non-binary now, so my youngest, let me say that, my youngest was in a track meet. And I came from work, and David came from work, and we hadn't seen each other all day. And we both got there, and we were both wearing khaki pants and a pink polo. Couldn't have been any more gay than that. But he was good. He my kids love and appreciate him, and they're all young adults now. So, it was hard. It was hard raising 3 kids. Trust me, it was really hard. Being a single dad was a huge challenge.
I've often thought of my friends who were married, have kids, divorced, and now they're with their partners. I often think, like, here, my husband and I navigate through the things that we've done. We've done it without kids, and I can't imagine so many times, and I even take this with even just parents. I'm like taking the things that we go through and then putting 3 others, before your own needs about that. Like that, navigating through that is just incredibly difficult.
It's different than having a puppy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, children are wonderful, and I love my kids, and I'm so glad that, that I had the honor of being their dad, but that's not to say it wasn't a lot of work and really challenging.
So tell a little bit about your work you're doing now. I want you to talk about your book, Godly But Gay, and when it's coming out. I want to talk to like kind of what got you to this point, this journey in your life to be able to do this, and share with that a little bit.
When I came out, one of the things I didn't say that I told myself after I had those conversations with myself and with God is I then followed up with, I will never shut up about this. I literally was like, I'm going to talk. Because I lived a life of isolation where I had nobody to talk to, and I didn't want anybody to ever have to go through that. And I'm like, not everybody has the privilege of being transparent because of all kinds of reasons. And I don't hold anybody else to that standard of like, well, you should. I don't define what authentic means. Authentic doesn't necessarily mean you have to put everything out there.
Right.
And so I'm like, but I will. And I will be an open book, and I will share the good, the bad, the ugly, and if it will help others. So that's what I do today is I really use that basic story to encourage people to live authentically. But in that process, as I would tell my story here and there, people would be like, wow, you should write a book.
Yeah.
And the more people would say that, the more I'm like, maybe I should. And in fact, in the acknowledgments of my book, the last acknowledgement is to all the people who said, wow, you should write a book. I did.